Islam, peace, hotel, namaste. What I do to you? How you doing this wonderful warm night? It's like the lull before the storm, isn't it? It's just so warm, and we don't know what's going to come behind it. But we know that Allah is the God of all things, and we just ask for Him to keep protecting those of us who know what time it is. Truly, Allah is our God in all we do. I want to wish you all a wonderful night. Just walking back home to my hometown, and I just thinking about what I said earlier, that it was sad to see a lot of people of color, melanated people, so-called black people, partaking in this scandal of all scandals that was done through the Freemasonry lodges of the stealing of the votes that between President Trump and Joe Biden. But we know that no one can save self but self. It is just sad to see people of color that got caught up into it, because now many of these people will be arrested and they're going to be going to jail. I mean, they stole votes, and that's a federal crime, whatever. But that system of voting itself, the voting machines are compromised as well, because the voting is set up through the machines, computers. And did you know the main base for those computers when people vote is in Barcelona, Spain, and Frankfurt, Kentucky? That's where, not Kentucky, but Frankfurt, Germany. That's where most of the main servers are when people vote. So that they mean that the European Union has control over most of your votes when you vote. So what's going to happen now, the people really want true sovereignty. They're also going to have paper ballots. They're going to have to go back to paper ballot, because that's the only way that it can be done. But that has to come through sovereignty too. The people declaring their spiritual sovereignty, which is very important now. We see the division. And we know that Joe Biden really didn't win. It was all done through the API news organization, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. All those conglomerates that took part in that, because they absolutely don't want Trump to go ahead with the program, even though it's so much money that has to be used in order to fund his program he talked about, called the Platinum Program. So that takes a lot of investment. So I guess a lot of that, like where I said, didn't fall in the way it's supposed to. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But we know that there was a lot of cheating going on in a lot of these counties, as far as what we see with our eyes. Because he won that whole thing fair and square. I believe I counted 17 states that Biden won, and Trump won all the rest of them. This was before midnight. And then, from what some of the whistleblowers are saying, the ones that came forward, that work within the post office system, I thank God for them for stepping up and telling the truth of what they saw. And that's going to be a part of this Supreme Court hearing that's going to culminate into what actually is going down. But it's all about the monies and everything like that. And people should no longer accept the corruption and try to get more in their spiritual sovereignty, because that's what time it is. So what they're going to do now, the Electoral College really determines the president. So not what CNN is saying and all this. That's not word. That's not true paperwork. So really Joe Biden did not win. Some say he did. They're arguing about it. We're not trying to be divisive. But in real time, he really didn't win. He just announced the president through TV. And we know that most of TV is fake and it's compromised. So no, he didn't win. For one thing, the president has to concede over that seat. And he's not about to, because he knows he won fair and square. And so he's got a lot of personal witnesses now that are going to come through and tell what's actually going on. A lot of so-called whistleblowers will be a part of these trials. But I said I believe that's a cover too, because they could be stalling, because the money system, is really bad now. And the dollar's not worth anything, because most of these countries are using their own currency. They're still doing business and everything. But the thing I like about Trump is because he knows about the business. That's one thing I liked about him. But and he represented that, people that really want to be better in their lives. That was what, to me, his presidency represents. So a lot of people don't want truth. They don't want righteousness. They don't want people united. And the media spun a lot of falsehood. But Trump came and won. And he won those Democratic areas that became red overnight. And that's what they decided to throw those votes in for Biden. They held those votes for 3 hours in those key states where they're calling for a recount and a trial to consume itself soon. So that's basically what I see. I see so-called black people that took part in that disenfranchise themselves and their families. As I said on my other video, they made themselves look really bad before the whole world. And they already think of so-called black people as thieves and, you know, hustlers and dope addicts and everything, which most of us aren't. But they look at, as a whole, they look at so-called people of color like that here. So that just made it even worse. Especially if they going by those old statuses, Negro, black, colored, white. You know, some of them, they partook in it too. To try to stop Trump. But this is for righteousness has to prevail whatever took place. And I do believe that there's still light, even though it looks dark. Have hope and speak out, people, for what you know is wrong. The more we have people that can come forward with what, to me, the Trump presidency represents. People coming together from all walks of life, because that's powerful. If he took all those states that originally were Democrat in those cities. So this is what they don't want. They want Chinese communism through Biden. And he is a pedophile. He's a thief. He's a liar. He doesn't stand up for anyone but himself and his family, who he's propped up all these 47, 50 years. So we can see that with what is going on with the trial they're trying to establish against him as well. But I just don't think it's meant for him and Kamala to be in there. I just don't see it happening to me. I may be wrong. Lies are God. But I think, you know, it's going to go on for a while. And we just got to stay strong and vigilant. And stay on top of everything. And keep doing what we've been doing and standing on the truth. So I'm going to close as I end it. Back to my abode. I wish you love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Standing on your own spiritual sovereignty and really finding out who you are. And we're here to help all with that. Want to know who they truly are, spiritual beings. Have a blessed night. Peace and love. Namaste. Waju Hotel. That's right. Buenas noches. Good night. Have a wonderful one. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.